First contact and cultural shock. The vast expanse of space had always beckoned humanity, its endless frontier a siren call to explorers and dreamers alike. But as the crew of the United Earth ship Odyssey would soon discover, the universe held wonders and terrors beyond their wildest imaginations. Captain Elena Rodriguez stood on the bridge of the Odyssey, her dark eyes fixed on the swirling, ethereal nebula that filled the view screen. The ship had been dispatched to investigate an anomalous signal emanating from this uncharted region of space, far beyond the fringes of known human territory. "Status report," Elena commanded, her voice steady despite the tension that crackled through the air like static electricity. Lieutenant Commander Aiden Chen, the ship's science officer, looked up from his console. "The signal's getting stronger, Captain. Whatever's out there, we're getting close." As if on cue, the nebula before them began to shift and part, revealing a massive structure hidden within its cosmic veil. The crew collectively held their breath as the object came into view. A colossal space station, its architecture unlike anything humanity had ever encountered. "My God," whispered Commander Jasper Hawthorne, the first officer. It's beautiful." The station was a marvel of engineering, a series of interlocking rings and spheres that seemed to defy the laws of physics. Its surface shimmered with an iridescent sheen, reflecting the kaleidoscope of colors from the surrounding nebula. "Life signs?" Elena asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Aiden's fingers danced across his console. "Affirmative, Captain. The station is teeming with life, but the readings are like nothing I've ever seen before." Elena took a deep breath, squaring her shoulders. This was the moment humanity had been waiting for, first contact with an alien civilization. "Open a channel," she ordered. "All frequencies." The communications officer, Lieutenant Zara Okafor, nodded. "Channel open, Captain." Elena stepped forward, her heart pounding in her chest. "This is Captain Elena Rodriguez of the United Earth ship Odyssey. We come in peace, seeking friendship and knowledge. Please respond." For several agonizing moments, there was nothing but silence. Then suddenly, the view screen flickered to life, revealing a sight that would be forever etched into the annals of human history. The alien before them was breathtaking in its otherworldliness. It appeared to be composed of living crystal, its body a network of translucent, geometric shapes that pulsed with inner light. Where a human would have a face, there was a complex arrangement of facets that somehow conveyed a sense of intelligence and curiosity. When it spoke, its voice was a symphony of chimes and resonant tones that the ship's computer struggled to translate. "We are the Crystalline Collective. Your presence here was unexpected." Elena fought to keep her composure. "We apologize for any intrusion. We detected your signal and came to investigate. We're explorers seeking to learn about the universe and its inhabitants." The crystalline being's facets shifted, creating a pattern that the humans would later learn indicated deep thought. "Explorers, a concept we find difficult to comprehend. Our kind does not venture beyond our haven. The universe outside is chaotic, unpredictable." Aiden leaned in, whispering to Elena, "Captain, their biology is incredible. They seem to be silicon-based life forms, capable of manipulating energy fields in ways we've only theorized about." Elena nodded, her mind racing with the implications. "We understand your caution," she said to the alien, "but we believe that through exploration and cooperation, we can learn from each other and grow stronger together." The crystalline being's response was interrupted by a sudden alarm blaring through the Odyssey. Zara's eyes widened as she checked her readings. "Captain, we're detecting multiple ships entering the system. They're not responding to hails, and their weapons are hot." The view screen split, showing a fleet of sleek, predatory vessels emerging from warp. Their design was angular and aggressive, bristling with weaponry. "Crystalline Collective," a harsh, guttural voice boomed across the communications channel. "Your isolation ends today. Surrender your technology and submit to the Void Dominion, or face annihilation." Elena's jaw clenched. In the span of a few minutes, they had gone from the joy of first contact to the brink of interstellar war. She turned to the crystalline being, whose facets were now pulsing with what could only be described as alarm. "It appears we face a common threat," Elena said, her voice filled with determination. "We may be strangers, but the Odyssey and her crew stand ready to help defend your home. What say you?" The crystalline being's facets whirled in a complex pattern. "Your offer is unexpected. We have long believed that isolation was our only path to survival. Perhaps we were mistaken." As the Void Dominion ships drew closer, their weapons charging, Elena felt the weight of two civilizations resting on her shoulders. The next few moments would determine not only the fate of the Odyssey and the Crystalline Collective, but potentially the future of human-alien relations for generations to come. "We don't have much time," Elena said, her mind already formulating strategies. "If we're going to survive this, we need to work together. Can you tell us about your defensive capabilities?" The crystalline being's voice took on a different timbre, one that the universal translator interpreted as a mix of resignation and resolve. "Our haven is protected by energy fields beyond your comprehension, but they were designed for environmental control, not warfare. We have lived in peace for so long." Commander Hawthorne stepped forward. "Captain, if I may, our shields and weapons might not be a match for that fleet, but if we could find a way to integrate our technology with the collective's energy manipulation abilities." Elena nodded, a spark of hope igniting in her chest. "Exactly what I was thinking, Commander." She turned back to the view screen. "Crystalline Collective, we propose an immediate technological exchange. If we can combine our defensive systems with your energy manipulation, we might stand a chance." The facets of the crystalline being spun rapidly, and for a moment, Elena feared they would reject the offer. But then, to her relief, the alien responded. "Your proposal is logical. We will permit a small team to board our haven, but be warned, the physiological differences between our species may present challenges." "Understood," Elena said, already moving towards action. "Commander Hawthorne, assemble a team. You'll be leading the away mission. Lieutenant Chen, you're with them. We'll need your scientific expertise. Dr. Yara, prep the team for potential biological incompatibilities." As her crew sprang into action, Elena turned back to the looming threat on the view screen. The Void Dominion ships were arranging themselves into an attack formation, their intent clear. "Lieutenant Okafor, open a channel to the Void Dominion," Elena ordered, her voice steel. "Channel open, Captain," Zara replied. Elena took a deep breath, knowing that her next words could mean the difference between peace and war. "This is Captain Elena Rodriguez of the United Earth ship Odyssey. We have no quarrel with you, but we stand united with the Crystalline Collective. I urge you to reconsider your actions. Surely, there's a peaceful solution that can benefit all parties." The response was immediate and chilling. "Foolish beings," the guttural voice snarled. "You align yourselves with living rocks. Your destruction will serve as an example to all who would defy the Void Dominion." As the transmission cut off, Elena saw the first volley of energy weapons launch from the enemy fleet. The Odyssey rocked under the impact, its shields flaring. "Shields holding at 82%, Captain," the tactical officer reported. Elena's mind raced. They needed time for the away team to work their magic, time to understand their new allies, time to find a weakness in the overwhelming force arrayed against them. "Evasive maneuvers," she ordered. "Lieutenant Okafor, relay tactical data to the Crystalline Haven. If they have any defensive measures, now's the time to use them." As the Odyssey weaved through the barrage of enemy fire, Elena watched the away team's shuttle speed towards the crystalline structure. The fate of two civilizations now rested in their hands. Inside the shuttle, Commander Hawthorne turned to his team. "All right, people, this is what we've trained for. First contact, alien technology, and a battle for survival all rolled into one. Let's show these crystallines what humanity's made of." As they approached the shimmering surface of the alien haven, a portal arised open, inviting them into the unknown. the shuttle passed through, and for a moment, all sensors went dark. When they emerged on the other side, the team found themselves in a world that defied description. The interior of the haven was a labyrinth of crystal and light, where the lines between technology and biology blurred into insignificance. A group of crystalline beings awaited them, their faceted bodies refracting the ambient light in mesmerizing patterns. One stepped forward, its chime-like voice resonating through the chamber. "Welcome, humans, to the heart of our collective. We must act swiftly if we are to survive this day. Are you prepared to bridge the gap between our worlds?" Commander Hawthorne stepped off the shuttle, his eyes wide with wonder and determination. "We're ready," he said, gesturing to his team. "Let's make history." As the humans and crystallines began their frantic collaboration, the battle raged outside. The Odyssey danced through space, its human crew working in perfect harmony to keep the ship intact. But with each passing moment, the Void Dominion drew closer to breaching their defenses. In the crystalline haven, Aiden Chen marveled at the alien technology before him. "This is incredible," he muttered, his fingers tracing the intricate patterns of a control interface. "Their entire system is based on harmonic resonances. If we can match our shield frequencies to their energy manipulation." One of the crystalline beings chimed in agreement. "Yes, yes, your understanding is swift. But to achieve true symbiosis, we must go further. We must blend." Before the humans could ask what that meant, the chamber around them began to shift and pulse. Streams of living crystal flowed towards them, enveloping their bodies in a cocoon of light. For a terrifying moment, Hawthorne thought they had made a terrible mistake. But then he felt it, a connection deeper than anything he had ever experienced. He could sense the thoughts and emotions of his team, of the crystallines, even the haven itself. "My God," he breathed. We're part of them." Through this newfound connection, knowledge flowed like a river. The humans understood the intricacies of crystal harmonics and energy manipulation, while the crystallines grasped the principles of human technology and tactics. Back on the Odyssey, Elena watched in awe as the crystalline haven began to pulse with new energy. Sections of the structure reconfigured themselves, forming what looked like massive focusing arrays. "Captain," Zara called out, "I'm receiving a transmission from Commander Hawthorne, but it's like nothing I've ever seen before." Elena nodded. "Put it through." The voice that came through the speakers was a blend of human and crystalline tones, a harmony of two species working as one. "Captain, we've done it. We're ready to implement the defense system. On your mark." Elena allowed herself a small smile. Against all odds, they had found a way. She turned to the tactical officer. "Target the lead ships of the Void Dominion. Fire on my command." As the enemy fleet closed in for the kill, Elena felt a moment of perfect clarity. This was why humanity had reached for the stars, not just to explore, but to connect, to grow, to become more than they were. "Fire," she commanded. The Odyssey's weapons blazed to life, their energy beams intersecting with pulses from the crystalline haven. Where they met, reality itself seemed to warp and twist. The combined power lanced out towards the Void Dominion ships, enveloping them in a field of scintillating energy. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, to the astonishment of all watching, the lead ships of the Void Dominion fleet began to change. Their hulls crystallized, transforming into structures that mirrored the beauty of the crystalline haven. "What's happening?" Elena demanded. The blended voice of Hawthorne and the crystallines responded. "We're not destroying them, Captain. We're evolving them, showing them a new way of existence." As the effect spread through the enemy fleet, the barrage of weapons fire ceased. The newly transformed ships hung in space, glittering like newborn stars. A new voice, both familiar and alien, came over the comms. We understand now. The chaos, the hunger for conquest, it was born of fear, of isolation. You've shown us a better path." Elena let out a breath she didn't realize she'd been holding. "Does this mean you're standing down?" "We are," the voice confirmed. "And we would, we would learn more of this unity you've shown us. As the immediate threat faded, Elena turned her attention to the crystalline haven, where her away team was still joined with their new allies. Commander Hawthorne, what's your status? There was a pause before Hawthorne's voice, now sounding more human, responded. We're all right, Captain. The connection is fading, but the knowledge remains. I think we've just opened the door to a whole new era of exploration and cooperation. Elena nodded, a smile spreading across her face. Well done, all of you. Prepared to return to the Odyssey. Something tells me we have a lot of work ahead of us. As she looked out at the transformed fleet and the shimmering crystalline haven, Elena felt a sense of awe and possibility wash over her. In the span of a few hours, humanity had made first contact, forged an alliance, faced destruction, and emerged transformed. The stars suddenly seemed brighter, the universe vast with promise. Whatever challenges lay ahead, Elena knew that they would face them not alone, but as part of something greater, a cosmic crucible where different worlds could come together and emerge stronger. The adventure, it seemed, was only just beginning, forging an alliance. The days following the confrontation with the Void Dominion were a whirlwind of activity aboard the UES Odyssey. Captain Elena Rodriguez found herself at the center of a diplomatic maelstrom as she worked to solidify the fledgling alliance between humanity, the Crystalline Collective, and the newly transformed Void Dominion ships. Elena stood in the Odyssey's conference room, surrounded by holographic projections of her crew and their alien counterparts. The air shimmered with the translucent forms of crystalline representatives, their faceted bodies refracting light in mesmerizing patterns. Alongside them, the more humanoid but still distinctly alien forms of the former Void Dominion leaders hovered, their once aggressive demeanor replaced by an air of cautious curiosity. We've made remarkable progress in a short time, Elena began, her voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. But we have a long way to go if we're going to turn this temporary ceasefire into a lasting peace. Commander Jasper Hawthorne nodded, his eyes still holding a hint of the otherworldly glow from his merger with the crystalline technology. The knowledge we gained from our joining with the collective has been invaluable, Captain, but there's still so much we don't understand about each other. A chiming voice resonated through the room as one of the crystalline beings spoke. Indeed, the concept of exploration, of willingly leaving one's haven to face the unknown, it is still difficult for us to comprehend fully. And for us, added a former Void Dominion leader, his voice a mix of metallic tones and crystal resonance, the idea of existing without the drive to conquer and expand is unsettling. We've known nothing else for so long. Elena took a deep breath, recognizing the monumental task before them. Then that's where we start. We need to understand each other's perspectives, strengths, and weaknesses. Only then can we build something truly lasting. Over the next few weeks, the Odyssey became a floating university of sorts. Crew members and alien representatives engaged in intensive cultural exchange programs. The ship's holodeck was repurposed to simulate a variety of environments, allowing each species to experience glimpses of the other's homeworlds. Lieutenant Commander Aiden Chen found himself working closely with both crystalline scientists and former Void Dominion engineers, combining their unique perspectives to push the boundaries of what was thought possible. It's fascinating, Aiden explained during one of the daily briefings. The crystallines' understanding of energy manipulation is leagues beyond ours, but they've never applied it to space travel, and the Void Dominion's propulsion systems are incredibly advanced, but they never considered using them for anything but warfare. Elena nodded, a glimmer of excitement in her eyes. And by combining these technologies with our own adaptability and problem-solving skills, we could revolutionize space exploration, Aiden finished, his voice filled with awe. The possibilities are endless. But the path to understanding was not without its challenges. Cultural misunderstandings and deep-seated fears threatened to unravel their fragile alliance at every turn. One particularly tense moment came during a joint training exercise. A team of human and former Void Dominion crew members were practicing emergency procedures in one of the Odyssey's airlocks when a miscommunication led to a near disaster. The airlock began to depressurize with several crew members still inside. Panic ensued as the humans scrambled for their emergency suits, while the former Void Dominion members, used to the vacuum of space, watched in confusion. It was a young ensign, Zara Okafor, who saved the day. Recognizing the aliens' ability to survive in vacuum, she quickly gestured for them to help seal the humans' suits. The crisis was averted, but it highlighted the vast differences they still needed to overcome. In the aftermath, Elena called an all-hands meeting. "What happened today was unacceptable," she said, her voice firm but not unkind. "But it also taught us a valuable lesson. We can't assume that what's dangerous for one of us is dangerous for all. We need to communicate better, to understand not just our differences, but how those differences can complement each other." The incident became a turning point. Rather than driving them apart, it spurred all three species to redouble their efforts at cooperation. The former Void Dominion members, in particular, seemed to embrace their new role as protectors rather than conquerors. As weeks turned into months, the alliance began to take shape. The crystalline haven, once hidden and isolated, was slowly transforming into a hub of interspecies cooperation. The former Void Dominion ships, their hulls still glittering with crystalline structures, took on the role of a defensive fleet, their powerful weapons now turned to peaceful purposes. Elena watched with pride as her crew adapted and grew. Commander Hawthorne, still carrying the echoes of his merger with the crystalline technology, became a bridge between the species, able to interpret and mediate in ways no one else could. Lieutenant Chen's scientific breakthroughs, combining the best of all three species' technologies, were already changing the face of space exploration, and young Ensign Okafor, whose quick thinking had saved lives, was becoming a symbol of the new generation. Humans who saw aliens not as strange or threatening, but as fellow explorers in the vast cosmic sea. But even as the alliance grew stronger, a new challenge loomed on the horizon. The long-range sensors of the Odyssey, enhanced by crystalline technology, detected an anomaly at the edge of the system. Something was coming, something vast and unknown. Elena stood on the bridge, watching the swirling patterns on the long-range sensor display. "What are we looking at, Mr. Chen?" she asked, her voice tight with tension. Aiden's fingers danced over his console, his brow furrowed in concentration. It's like nothing we've ever seen before, Captain. The energy readings are off the charts. Whatever it is, it's big, bigger than anything we've encountered." A crystalline representative, its facets pulsing with an urgent light, chimed in. "We have legends, ancient stories of beings that exist between the stars. Cosmic entities of unimaginable power. Could this be?" The former Void Dominion leader, his crystalline form shimmering with nervous energy, added, "In our conquests, we heard whispers of forces beyond our understanding. We dismissed them as myths, but now—" Elena felt the weight of command settle heavily on her shoulders. They had come so far, overcome so much. But this was something else entirely. She turned to her crew, seeing the mix of fear and determination on their faces. "Whatever's coming," she said, her voice steady, "we'll face it together. Alert all ships in the Alliance. We need every sensor, every scrap of knowledge we can gather. It's time to put our newfound unity to the test." As the alert went out, Elena couldn't help but feel a sense of irony. They had forged this alliance to prevent conflict, to explore peacefully. But now, it seemed, the universe had other plans. The true test of their bond was about to begin. In the days that followed, the alliance mobilized with a speed and efficiency that would have been impossible just months before. The Odyssey, now augmented with crystalline sensor arrays and Void Dominion shield technology, took point in the defensive formation. Aiden worked tirelessly with his interspecies team of scientists, analyzing every scrap of data they could gather about the approaching anomaly. "It's definitely artificial," he reported during one tense briefing. but the scale, it's like comparing a planet to a grain of sand. Commander Hawthorne, his eyes glowing faintly with residual crystalline energy, added, "The collective's archives speak of cosmic architects, beings said to shape the very fabric of space-time. Could we be witnessing a return of such entities?" Elena absorbed the information, her mind racing. Whatever it is, we need to be prepared for anything. Peaceful contact is still our primary goal, but we can't rule out the possibility of hostility. As the anomaly drew closer, its true nature began to reveal itself. It wasn't a single massive object, but rather a swarm of smaller entities, each still dwarfing the largest ships in the Alliance fleet. They moved in perfect synchronization, their bodies seeming to shift and morph as they traveled. They're reconfiguring the space around them, Aiden breathed, his voice filled with awe. It's like they're rewriting the laws of physics as they move. Elena straightened her uniform, taking a deep breath. This was it, the moment that would define not just their alliance, but potentially the future of all known species in the galaxy. "Open a channel," she commanded. "All frequencies, all known forms of communication. Let's hope they're willing to talk." As the message was sent out, a tense silence fell over the bridge. Seconds stretched into minutes, each moment feeling like an eternity. Then suddenly, the view screen exploded with light and sound. Images and sensations flooded through the ship's systems, snippets of alien worlds, glimpses of cosmic events, flashes of civilizations rising and falling. It was overwhelming, a torrent of information that threatened to overload not just their computers, but their very minds. "It's too much," Zara cried out, her hands flying over her console. "Our systems can't handle it." But then something remarkable happened. The crystalline members of the crew began to resonate, their faceted bodies glowing with inner light. The former Void Dominion crew's crystalline implants pulsed in harmony, and the humans, to their shock, felt a familiar sensation, the same connection they had experienced when merging with the crystalline technology. Through this impromptu psychic link, the flood of information became manageable. Images resolved into understandable concepts, sensations into coherent ideas, and at the heart of it all, a message. "You are young, but you hey ye pivot and jail. Your unit nt or iuesus. We wulad yano you or." Elena, her mind reeling from the alien contact, but steadied by the support of her crew and allies, stepped forward. In that moment, she knew that she spoke not just for humanity, not just for their small alliance, but for all the fledgling civilizations of the galaxy. "We are explorers," she said, her voice carrying the determination of her species and the newfound wisdom of their allies. "We seek knowledge, understanding, and peaceful coexistence. We have much to learn, but we also have much to offer. Will you teach us? And in turn, may we show you how we see the universe." There was a pause, a moment where the fate of galaxies seemed to hang in the balance. Then, slowly, the swarm of cosmic entities began to coalesce, forming into a shape that all present could understand. A hand reached out in greeting. "Come," the voice resonated through their minds. "Let us Joe you together." As the Odyssey and its ally fleet prepared to embark on an adventure beyond their wildest dreams, Elena felt a surge of pride and hope. They had forged this alliance in the crucible of conflict and misunderstanding, but it had emerged stronger than anyone could have imagined. Now they stood on the brink of a new era of exploration and discovery. The cosmic crucible had tested them, and they had not been found wanting. Whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together, humans, crystallines, former conquerors, and now, it seemed, the very architects of the cosmos itself. The true voyage, Elena realized, was only just beginning. The impossible mission. The Odyssey and its allied fleet found themselves in a realm beyond comprehension. The cosmic architects, as they came to be known, had brought them to a vast celestial shipyard where realities were forged and galaxies were born. Captain Elena Rodriguez stood on the observation deck, her crew and alien allies beside her, all struck speechless by the cosmic panorama before them. Streams of energy in impossible colors flowed between massive structures that defied the laws of physics as they knew them. "It's beautiful," whispered Aiden Chen, his scientific mind struggling to process what he was seeing. A chiming voice from one of the crystalline beings added, "It is harmony beyond our wildest imaginings." The wonder of the moment was interrupted by an urgent message from the cosmic architects, resonating directly in their minds. "A great darkness, HFY. The cosmic balance is threatened. We require your humanly PRSPKSTIVs to avart catastrophe." Elena felt the weight of responsibility settle on her shoulders. "What can we do to help?" she asked, her voice steady despite the enormity of the situation. The response came not in words, but in a series of vivid mental impressions. The Allied crew saw glimpses of a voracious void consuming entire galaxies, of civilizations snuffed out in an instant, of the very fabric of space-time unraveling. "The entropic tide," one of the former Void Dominion members said, his crystalline form shimmering with recognition. "We thought it was just a myth, a story to scare young warriors." "It is very real," the cosmic architects confirmed, "and it approaches the nursery of new universes. If it reaches this place, all potential futures will be lost." The mission became clear. The Allied fleet would need to navigate to the edge of known reality, place cosmic stabilizers at key points, and activate a galaxy-spanning shield to hold back the entropic tide. The cosmic architects would provide the technology, but it would be up to the younger races to deploy it. "Why us?" Elena asked, voicing the question on everyone's minds. "Your adaptability, your diversePRSPCTIVs, your VAREUTIVSU and advantage. We hear to CT in our abilities to face this threat alone." The preparations began immediately. The Odyssey and its sister ships were outfitted with reality-warping engines and equipped with stabilizers that seemed to exist in multiple dimensions at once. The crew underwent crash courses in cosmic navigation and multidimensional physics. As the fleet prepared to embark on their impossible mission, Elena addressed her crew and allies. "What we're about to attempt goes beyond anything we've ever faced. The stakes couldn't be higher, but I can't think of a group I'd rather have by my side. Together, we've already achieved the impossible. Now it's time to do it again." With a mixture of determination and awe, the Allied fleet set off into the unknown, the fate of all possible futures resting in their hands. As they approached the edge of reality, where physics began to break down and chaos reigned, Elena couldn't help but feel a surge of pride. Humanity had reached for the stars, and now they were reaching for the very foundations of existence itself. The true test was about to begin, turning the tides. The Allied fleet hovered at the edge of reality, facing the encroaching entropic tide. A vast, roiling darkness stretched before them, devouring light and matter alike. Captain Elena Rodriguez felt a chill as she realized the enormity of their task. "All ships, begin deployment of stabilizers," she ordered, her voice steady despite the tension. As the fleet spread out, each ship precisely positioning its reality anchor, challenges arose. The laws of physics became unreliable, causing systems to malfunction and communication to break down. It was in this moment of crisis that the strengths of each species shone through. The crystalline's innate understanding of energy flows allowed them to adapt to the shifting reality. The former Void Dominion's experience with spatial anomalies proved invaluable in navigation, and humanity's quick thinking and adaptability tied it all together. Aiden Chen, working with a mixed species team, had a breakthrough. "If we modulate the stabilizers to match the resonance frequency of our combined thought patterns," he explained excitedly, "we can create a feedback loop that strengthens the shield." As the entropic tide bore down on them, the Allied fleet linked minds once more. Their collective consciousness became the framework for the shield, their united will a bulwark against oblivion. Elena watched in awe as a shimmering barrier sprang to life, pushing back against the encroaching darkness. For a moment, it seemed as though they would be overwhelmed, but then, improbably, the tide began to recede. "We did it," Elena breathed, scarcely believing her eyes. "We actually did it." As the immediate danger passed, the fleet regrouped, battered but triumphant. They had faced the ultimate test and emerged victorious, not through superior firepower or technology, but through the strength of their unity and the power of their diverse perspectives. The cosmic architect's voice resonated through their minds once more. "UHAVESUCCEED, Wegari we could not. The future of the cosmos is bright with potential, thanks to your Deathworlders." Elena looked out at her crew and allies, seeing the pride and wonder reflected in their faces. They had not only saved reality as they knew it, but had proven that there was strength in diversity and unlimited potential in cooperation. The journey back to known space would be long, but it would be filled with the excitement of new discoveries and the joy of deepening friendships. The crucible had forged them into something greater than the sum of their parts, and the universe would never be the same. A new galactic order, the return of the Odyssey and its allied fleet to known space, marked the dawn of a new era. News of their incredible journey and the bonds forged between once disparate species spread rapidly, inspiring awe and hope throughout the galaxy. On Earth, the United Nations convened a special session to hear Captain Elena Rodriguez's report. As she stood before the assembly, Elena felt the weight of history on her shoulders. "We went into space seeking new frontiers," she began, her voice clear and strong. "What we found was a universe more vast and wondrous than we ever imagined. But more importantly, we found that our greatest strength lies not in our technology or our individual abilities, but in our capacity to unite, to understand one another, and to face the unknown together." The impact of the Alliance's achievements rippled across the galaxy. The Crystalline Collective, once isolated, now eagerly shared their knowledge of energy manipulation and cosmic harmonics. The former Void Dominion, their warlike past behind them, became guardians of fledgling civilizations. Humanity, with its adaptability and insatiable curiosity, found itself in a unique position to bridge the gaps between different species and cultures. The Odyssey became a symbol of this new age, embarking on missions of diplomacy, scientific discovery, and cultural exchange. Aiden Chen led a team of multi-species scientists in establishing the Cosmic Academy, an institution dedicated to pushing the boundaries of knowledge and fostering interstellar cooperation. Commander Hawthorne, still carrying the echoes of his crystalline merger, became an ambassador to newly discovered races, helping them find their place in the galactic community. As for Elena, she found herself promoted to admiral, overseeing a new fleet of exploration vessels, but she never forgot the lessons learned during their impossible mission. Years later, as she christened a new ship, fittingly named Unity, Elena reflected on how far they had come. The crew before her was a tapestry of species from across the galaxy, all working in harmony. "We stand here today not as separate races," she said, her voice carrying across the assembled crowd, "but as fellow explorers in the cosmic sea. Our differences are not obstacles but strengths. Our varied perspectives allow us to see the universe in ways no single species could alone." As the Unity prepared for its maiden voyage, Helena felt a familiar sense of excitement and wonder. The galaxy was vast, and there were still so many mysteries to uncover. But whatever challenges lay ahead, she knew they would face them the same way they had faced the entropic tide, together. The cosmic crucible had tested them, transformed them, and ultimately united them. And in doing so, it had opened up a future brighter than any single world could have imagined. As the Unity lifted off, carrying the hopes and dreams of a united galaxy, Elena smiled. The greatest adventure, she realized, was only just beginning.